Here is Durant for the win! Kevin Durant!
Your team is down by 1, and there are only 5 seconds left on the clock. Who do you pick to take the final shot at the buzzer? In this video, we will run down the best of the best to ever do it come gut check time. Here are the 10 clutch players in NBA history. Before we get into this list, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to get all of our videos right when we release them. Number 10, Jerry West. Let us kick off the list with the OG of making big buckets. The Laker legend Jerry West has hit some of the biggest shots in playoff history, and no one came close during his time. In fact, he was so darn good at hitting them to the point that they gave him the honorary title of Mr. Clutch for his late-game heroics. The NBA later on decided to put his slender silhouette on the logo. With his dapper appearance and vintage side-part hairdo, West's shooting touch and dribbling skills were as smooth and slick as his hair game. One of the biggest moments of his career was during the dying seconds of the 1962 Finals, when he stole the inbound pass from Sam Jones that was intended for Bob Cousy and drove to the cup on the other end to seal the victory. But among his wide collection of crucial baskets, West was known for his iconic 60-footer heave to send the game into OT during the 1970 Finals against the Celtics. And before I forget, he was the one who also gave the go-ahead bucket to win it for the Western All-Star team in 1972, playing against the biggest stars in the league. Number 9, Kyrie Irving. While we recognize Kyrie Irving as the most gifted ball handler of all time, let us not forget that Uncle Drew also got some ice in his veins come gut check time. Whether he decides to kill you with a step-back jumper or a razzle-dazzle fancy finish against multiple defenders, Kyrie can put up a shot in the most under-duress environment. As a versatile scorer, he can put down his head and drive to the cup, or settle for a long two and jack up shots from beyond the arc. He's just that good. One of his memorable Christmas Day clutch moments was when he took Klay Thompson to school by putting the brakes while attacking the rim, and pivots around to shoot a tough fadeaway against Klay's outstretched arms. And of course, who could forget his classic step-back dagger 3 against Steph Curry to give the Cavaliers the lead with just under a minute left in Game 7 of the 2016 Finals? There's still a lot of files under the Kyrie Irving clutch archive, and we might just run out of time sorting out each one of them. Number 8, Joe Johnson. During his 17 years in the league, Joe Johnson has been classified as one of the premier closers of his time. Drafted as the 10th overall pick in 2001, Johnson slowly built his resume by being an outside gunner and a tough defender. After playing for a few seasons with Phoenix, Johnson's subpar career would immediately leap to stardom when he suited up for the Hawks in 2005. Joe embraced the spotlight and hit big shot after big shot, especially during their deep playoff runs. According to advanced stats, Johnson is tied at the top with Michael Jordan for having the most unassisted buzzer beaters in history with 7. Due to his uncanny ability to put up daggers going against his defenders one-on-one, Johnson was dubbed as ISO Joe for being such a lethal bucket getter in one-on-one matchups. One of his signature clutch moments happened in the dying seconds in Game 1 of his first-round battle with the Clippers in the 2016 playoffs, where he delivered a floater that dramatically trickled in to take home court advantage during his stint with the Jazz. He's one of those players that love the big moments, and even if he struggled during the entire game, ISO Joe is the type of player who was never afraid nor hesitated to take the last shot on his team's behalf. Number 7, Robert Horry. This opening statement might just shock you, but did you know that Robert Horry has bagged more championships than the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan? Nope. Doesn't mean that Horry was greater than Jordan, but when it comes to hitting clutch baskets, I think he's on par with the great one in that specific category. Horry's entire career has become synonymous with cold-blooded buckets. A 7-time NBA champ, Horry gained notoriety for being a lethal marksman when the game was on the line, and would always deliver the biggest shot of the game when it counted most. Big Shot Rob was mainly known for taking the heart of the Sacramento Kings when he made a straightaway 3 on top of the key to bag the win in Game 4 in the 2002 playoffs. There was also one time where he hit an open 3 from the wing to ice the game and put the Spurs ahead 3-2 in the finals series of 2005. From his early days in Houston to the gleaming lights of LA and finally returning to Texas to suit up for the Spurs, Big Shot Rob's greatest hits tour kept rolling, and no doubt that Horry should have received multiple Grammys for that. Number 6, Paul Pierce. When the game is on the line, Paul Pierce is another guy that you can rely on. When the Larry Bird era in Boston ended, Pierce picked up the remaining glorious remnants of it and made the Boston Celtics one of the scariest teams in the league. And indeed, Pierce carried the franchise on his back before the Big Three era even dawned. In the playoffs, Pierce would deliver the timely basket to put his team ahead and knock down the most important baskets late in the game. He was so good of a scorer that Shaq called him the Truth when Pierce dropped 42 points against the defending champs in 2001. From his iconic go-ahead jumper against the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals to his step-back fall-away at the Horn during his stint in Washington, Pierce didn't lie about his capability of hitting daggers, as he would do time and time again, proving that he was one of the best in closing the deal. And ladies and gentlemen, that was the truth. Number 5, Kevin Durant. With the Twitter handle of @EasyMoneySniper, Kevin Durant would live up to his social media moniker by making difficult shots look so easy. All thanks to his laser-sharp, sniper-esque shooting ability. I know I just kind of forced that one, but the fact of the matter is, KD is a lethal sniper that makes everything easy money. Using his almost 7-foot frame and 7'5" wingspan, it's pretty hard to stop KD when he gets into his zone, and you can just hope and pray that he will miss. Which doesn't happen frequently because everyone knows that KD is as automatic as a well-calibrated machine gun. Whether you call him Durantula or Slithery Snake, it doesn't really matter because the guy is an unconscious, walking bucket that can hit a big shot anywhere from the floor when you give him the leather. To refresh your memory, KD delivered a running, leaning, fall-away three-pointer at the buzzer to defeat the Mavs in 2011. And don't forget that moment when he jacked another three-pointer, this time at LeBron James's mug, to put the Warriors ahead by 1 in the finals. There's a 10 to 15 minute clutch compilation featuring KD on YouTube, in case you want to see all of them, because we'll be running out of time if I mentioned each one of them. At the end of the day, KD is simply, indeed, easy money sniper. Number 4, Damian Lillard. At number 4, we have the guy that can single-handedly make the Moda Center roar. It's now the time for Dame time. The word clutch is simply embedded in Dame's DNA. Whether it's just a regular season or a play-in tournament or playoffs, Dame's legacy of being a shot maker just keeps on getting stronger, wilder, and farther. Known for his innate ability for drilling long-range bombs, Lillard is a head-scratcher on defense, as he can pull the trigger from half court if he feels like doing it. Taking out the outside option for Dame will present more problems than solutions because he can simply attack the rim using his quickness and stocky frame to fend off opposing defenders. When it comes to hitting clutch baskets, the guy who also goes by the name of Logo Lillard never shies away from big moments. When the game is on the line, you better make sure that this guy doesn't have the ball because he will burn and bury you alive. Lillard was responsible for blasting the 2014 Houston Rockets out of the playoffs with a running three. And despite Paul George's claim that his 37-footer was a bad shot, Lillard drilled that one in his face too, and waved them adieu to send the entire OKC packing for an early fishing trip to Cancun. From pulling up in crazy area codes, dropping back-to-back 50-point games, and hitting wild buzzer beaters, Dame is one of the most cold-blooded, clutch performers that we will ever see in the NBA. Number 3, LeBron James. After missing crucial late-game free throws and choking during quite a handful of marquee games in his storied career, the LeBron haters brigade circulated a rumor that LeBron isn't as clutch as MJ or Kobe. Is there some grain of truth to it, or was it just propaganda to downplay the King's greatness? To answer, let us look at the numbers. According to the advanced stat of clutch rating, LeChoke, well, that was the name given to him by his loyal haters, is currently ranked number 1 with a 60.49 rating based on the extensive research collated by ESPN. It also came with a statement that said LBJ was actually the best closer in playoff history. And I quote, "Since LeBron came into the league in 2003-04, nobody in the NBA has made more game-tying and go-ahead shots in the final 24 seconds of playoff games than LeBron, who was 7 of 16 on those shots. His 43.8 field goal percentage on those clutch shots ranks the best in the NBA since his rookie season among players with at least 10 attempts. The league average is 28.3% on those shots. In total, LeBron has made 7 buzzer beaters in his career and leads the category of most postseason buzzer beaters with 5, eclipsing MJ's 3 in the process. So the next time you say LeBron ain't clutch, make sure you have the data to back it up. Number 2, Kobe Bryant. In his heyday, Muhammad Ali floated like a butterfly and stung like a bee. But in the world of basketball, nobody stung like the Black Mamba during his prime in terms of closing basketball games. Kobe's late-game greatness was implanted in our minds and our hearts when he played for 20 seasons in the league. For a guy who airballed 4 consecutive three-pointers in a crucial playoff game in his rookie year, no one had the guts and bravado to keep taking game-winning shots like him, and he would always make sure that the ball was in his hands come crunch time. The running bank shot against the Heat, his floater and buzzer beater against Phoenix in the 2006 playoffs, and his tough jumper against Ray Allen and the rest of the Celtics in the finals were just some of the most iconic clutch moments that Kobe took part in. And because of that, we will remember Kobe as one of the fiercest competitors and greatest late-game shot makers that ever lived. Number 1. Michael Jordan. We've been making these type of top 10 videos for quite some time now, and Michael Jordan has been owning the majority of them. Well, guess what? This list ain't no different. With 9 career buzzer beaters, Michael Jordan stands in a league of his own, and his unparalleled clutchness comes second to none. The GOAT of GOATs has provided us with some of the most unforgettable, crucial shots in NBA history, like the time where he put Craig Elo in a death spiral, sending him to the floor in complete dejection after MJ hit him with the shot. And when he hit his classic farewell basket against the Jazz where he put Byron Russell on skates. I remember the time when his former coach Doug Collins was interviewed about his reaction when MJ hit the shot over Elo. He said in jest that he actually drew a play in that particular scenario, and that play was, get the ball to Michael and everybody get the bleep out of the way. If I'm a coach and my team is down by 1, there's absolutely no doubt that I would have done the same thing. That is, to leave the game in the hands of the greatest closer in the history of basketball. I hope you liked this video, and if you do, please drop this video a like and smash the subscribe button. You can also drop your comments if you agree or disagree with me on this take. Thanks for checking it out.